What's going on, everyone? David here. Welcome to a brand new Persona video. I know, it's been a while. My head is all about that SMT concert, which is in 2 days now, on the day that you're watching this video. So I'm pretty excited. But now I wanted to head back and think about what's the next Persona release that we will get. I know a ton of you guys are excited for the 25th anniversary of the Persona series, so I thought now would be a good time to speculate on if I had to choose one thing, whether it's a port, whether it's a port of an older game to new hardware, a game that's already on a certain system that could be brought to other system, a brand new game, like a spin-off or a new mainline installment, anything basically. I just want to speculate. Now, being pretty active in the Persona and just the Atlas community in general, I do know what people speculate most of the time. I read a ton of you guys' comments. Thank you for commenting as always. I am on Twitter and stuff, so I know what you guys want. Now, I have a quick list of games and ideas that I hear every now and then, and I want to talk about them. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is Persona 4 Golden, PS4 and Switch release. That's something that I hear very often. And out of all the Persona games to get a release on, let's start with the Switch. Okay, let's start with the Switch. Now, out of all the Persona games that could be released on Switch, mainline games, I feel like 4 is probably the most likely. 4G, most importantly. And the reason for that is simple. As you probably know, last summer 2020, there was a Steam port for Persona 4 Golden, and it exceeded the sales expectations for Atlas. We all know the meme, they were surprised that it did well on Steam. So, and ever since then, they've released multiple surveys asking if we want their games such as Persona on other systems, such as the PS4, the Xbox, the PC, the Switch. It's in the surveys again. So I feel like this is probably, out of the 5 Persona games, the 5 mainline games, I feel like P4G is probably the first one that will release outside of PlayStation console-wise, because I still don't think that mainline Persona has some type of contract, exclusive contract on consoles with Sony. I feel like it's gonna happen at some point. So that basically answers other points. Will P5 release on Switch or Xbox? I feel like P4G will arrive first. P3? Well, that brings me to my next point. I do feel like Persona 3 will get a re-release, very minimal re-release, being some type of Persona 3 FES port to Steam. I feel like this is what's gonna happen first. Why? Because, I mean, they created a small team at Atlas Japan for P4G being ported to Steam. So if this team is not busy, well, they could be working on a P3 FES port to Steam. What we would like to see, obviously, is a Persona 3 port with the graphics of P4G on Steam. And if possible, they could also add the portable P3P content in the FES port to Steam. That would be great. Will this port release on console? Maybe, but I feel like they're gonna follow the trend, release it on PC first. Again, it's gonna sell well, and then they might consider a console release. So the way I see it, Persona 3 Steam port is I'd say, the pick that I have for the next Persona release, which is the most certain. Now, another thing that we hear very often, of course, is a new Persona 5 spin-off. That's something that we hear very often. Even though the number of Persona 5 spin-off that we have right now on this day, which are released, is the same as P4 spin-offs, people still think that we'll get another one. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we're gonna get another one. The first reason being, well, yes, we had a lot of them. I feel like even if P5 did better than P4, I don't necessarily think they're gonna release another spin-off for P5. Would I like that? Yeah, absolutely. Any new content, I am down. So cool, I don't mind. Now, the big reason why I don't think it's gonna be another P5 spin-off is simply because I don't know what they would do. People would bring up Arena. I have a complete video talking only about Persona 5 Arena and why I don't think it's happening. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, I will add a little card on top of the screen here so you can click on it and watch that after this video. But I don't think Persona 5 Arena is happening anytime soon. So what are they gonna do? At first I was like, maybe that we're gonna get DLC for Strikers. That could be fun. Strikers Part 2, something like that. There's literally no evidence pointing in that direction, so it could still happen, obviously, and I would like it, but I don't necessarily think that's likely. So my ranking for now would be P3 Steam port, I'd say 9.5 out of 10. is happening in 2021, and then there's P4G on Switch and PS4, which I think also has a pretty good chance of happening in 2021. New P5 spinoff, I don't necessarily think that's happening. Now, of course, Persona 6, the next mainline, the next numbered mainline installment in the Persona series. We know it's in development. It's been in development for a certain time now. Obviously, they're probably not ready to show big stuff, but are we going to get a teaser for that game? Well, that's always very interesting when people bring this up, because even if we know that they've been working on it for a certain time, do they really want to show a teaser right now, reveal that it's coming? Because we already know they've been in interviews, Ashino's been in interviews, and he confirmed that it's in development. Do they really want to give us like a small teaser like what we got for P5 with the famous 5 chairs, and then they want to wait 7 years before giving us the actual game? I don't think they want to go through that again, especially with the pandemic at this time and all. So I know I made a video on the subject a few months back. While I do think it's possible that they reveal P6 because of the 25th anniversary this year, if they do, it's going to be a minor teaser, and don't expect to see anything more of this game in the coming months afterwards. Is that likely to be shown this year? Not likely, but I still feel like it could happen. Absolutely, I feel like that is reasonable. Now, this is not Persona directly, but since it is made by a ton of people from the Persona team, I also wanted to quickly talk about Project ReFantasy. Project ReFantasy reached its climax in development at the end of last year, which means that they're pretty deep in development, and we know nothing about the game. We only have a working title, so I feel like we could definitely get some information this year. Of course, I'm going to try to keep the focus on Persona with this video. I don't want to head into all the SMT stuff, but if we consider the SMT releases that are releasing this year, and let's say P4G is really happening on PS4 and Switch, and P3 on Steam, that's already a stacked lineup. So do they really want to start to give us a ton of info on ReFantasy? I'm not too sure. I'm honestly not too sure. If we've seen everything about Shin Megami Tensei 5 and it releases like in November, well, maybe Tokyo Game Show would be a good time to, you know, give us a good bit of information on ReFantasy. But if I had to bet, I'd say the beginning of 2022 we'll start to get a ton of info on ReFantasy. If you don't know anything about ReFantasy, it's a game with a bunch of devs from the Persona team, and it's a brand new medieval type RPG from Atlus, so it's very exciting for sure. So that's pretty much it for the releases that I am expecting for Persona in 2021. Again, P3 on Steam feels extremely likely. P4G on Switch and PS4 feels pretty likely. Whether it's a reveal this year or release this year, I'm not too sure. P5 spinoff, P6 announcement, official teaser, not that much either. So I think it's going to be a good year for Persona fans. I don't think it's going to be an overload of content either, though. I don't think it's going to be like the best year ever. So keep your expectations in check when it comes to the 25th anniversary of the Persona series. I know the devs have been getting out there and giving us hints that it's going to be a big year. And maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't expect this big of a year. For me, it's going to be the ports. It's going to be P4G, multi-platform, finally, and P3 on Steam. I feel like it's very likely to happen sometime in the summer. For now, people are still enjoying Strikers. Good game, by the way. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. Good game, and I reviewed it, so you can also check that out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. It was a ton of fun to make. I needed to talk about Persona a bit more. It's been way too long. If you enjoyed the video, as always, please drop a thumbs up. It helps a ton. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and ring the little bell icon to get notified every single time that I upload. If you want to stay up to date on anything Atlus, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, you are at the right place. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.